And the question is, do you raise taxes? Who do you raise taxes on at a time when we keep hearing stories about some of the wealthiest New Yorkers fleeing? And this is an issue not just in New York City, but it's actually an issue in many cities and states across the country, especially that have been hit with the SALT tax, where taxes effectively gone up on everybody. What do you do to tell them to stay and pay more if that's the case?
Well, Andrew, what we know about New York is that New Yorkers like me. I love New York. People love New York. What New Yorkers need is leadership. They need leadership and they need experienced leadership. People don't want to leave New York. They just don't have confidence. New Yorkers need leadership in which they can believe, that has a proven track record, who can get things done, who can also bridge the divide. Andrew, we need to bridge the divide. And so if they look at my track record and look at what I've been able to manage, remember, I managed through the crisis. I managed at the bottom of the last financial crisis that we had. I managed and built a team. I saw the stock go from $55 to 99 cents, and we had to invest. And so people love this city. What they're looking for is leadership. What they're looking for is management. They're looking for somebody who can bridge that divide, which is now so large. The ability to go from the streets to the suites and lead, and someone in whom they can believe. New Yorkers don't want to leave. This is the greatest city that exists. Somebody who wants to grow, who is pro-growth, somebody who wants to make certain that the cultural experiences that we have here are as vibrant as they are anywhere. Invest in the arts and culture. Invest in arts education. People want to be here. The aspirations around the world are still to be in New York City. You make it here, then you have been vetted by the most difficult competition that exists anywhere. So people love New York. It's just that we don't have the leadership that people in which people can have confidence. So I am quite confident that when I get into the mayoralship, that I'm going to be able to reach out to the leaders in the city, in Cambria Heights, in Queens, in Harlem, in Brooklyn, in Staten Island, in Manhattan, to make sure that those leaders come together. We need to bridge that divide and give people the opportunity that I had and that many of our children need to have. This is about the children. This is about how we grow our way out of this. And when it comes to the budget, we know how to manage budgets. This is what we've had to do. So you cannot tax your way out of this. Yes, those who have the resources like me and others will have to pay more, but you need to make sure we got the quality of life. And we can't be more efficient. We can be more efficient, but we can't cut our way out of this. We have to grow our way out of this. Right. So it's going to be a combination of growth.
What do you do? Mm-hmm. What do you do about the relationship between the public and the police? This is something that the business community often talks about as well, because the business community is often calling for law and order and more safety. And yet there is also a demonstrable conundrum between the relationship that the police and the public in New York City do have.
Listen, this is obviously very personal to me. It could happen to me, 6'4" black man. When on the day that we shot our launch video 2 blocks from my house, black driver and me got pulled over. So what do we need to do? We need to have what I call RAP, R-A-P, respect, accountability, and proportionality between the police and the community. Police and the community need to respect each other. Today, that trust has been breached. Why is that? Because those who are the serial abusers have not been held accountable. We've paid $200 million a year to settle cases from serial abusers. We need to address that visibly. And proportionality. We need to be able to have proportionate responses. It has been said, Andrew, that if the only thing that you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. In the black and brown communities, it's a sledgehammer. And so we need to make certain that we restore the confidence, we restore the trust. And how do we do that? We make certain that we invest in the mental health care professionals. 4 out of 10 calls that go to 9/11 have to do with mental health issues. We need to invest in the community organizations that can help intervene. We need to invest in the violence and the violence interrupters, like Life Camp in Queens with Erica Ford. We need to invest here. And so I want better policing. I want to reallocate the police budget, reallocate to get into those services so that we can prevent the crime.
Ray, before I let you go, just curious, since we've been talking about GameStop all morning, it's a unique issue because it has to do with the reputation in part of Wall Street. And you have political leaders from AOC on one side, Ted Cruz actually coming together behind this. Do you have a take on what's happening here?
You know, I think we need to be mindful about how we regulate this industry. and whether or not we've gone too far so that the casino-like atmosphere, the casino-like environment is one that prevails. So we need to come in and make sure that we manage this much better, because the downside is that somebody is going to suffer pretty mightily in this. So we need to be very careful about how we manage instances like this and programs like this. So we need to be very thoughtful about that.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.